If you're into puzzles, you've likely heard of the Rubik's Cube, but you might not know how to solve one, and you might not know about the other variants. Just like in this box. In this video, I'll be reviewing these cubes because this is a very great starting set. So, this is called the Qiyi cube set. Qiyi, which is one of the Chinese companies that makes Rubik's cubes, and they actually turn pretty nicely as well. So it comes in a box that looks like this. It does say for kids, but Rubik's cubes can be for pretty much anyone, unless if you're under 3 years old. But anyway, this is a speed cube set, and they actually, like I said, turn really well. And there's also a tutorial in case you don't know how to solve them, but we'll see about that. So I'm going to be reviewing all of these, so let's start off with this. Now, I am a speed cuber, which means I can solve this really fast. And you might not think that way if it was for you. But if you don't think you can solve the 3x3, then the 2x2 is actually a really good starting puzzle because it's not that hard to solve. And in this cube in particular, it's called the Qiyi. Remember, Qiyi is actually the brand that made this cube set. The Qiyi D 2x2. So that's what it's called, and it's actually a really nice turning cube, even for speed solving. And if anyone's looking to get a first 2x2, this is actually a really good one to get. So yeah. Next up is the Qiyi Hang, or more known as the Qiyi Sail. Yes, that's a real name, sailboats. So this is actually, obviously this is a really nice turning cube, and it actually is pretty good for speed solving as well. So the 3x3 is exactly what you expect. It's the classic Rubik's Cube, and honestly, it's not too hard to solve. If you watch those 2 videos, you will learn how to solve one. If you think you've mastered this, then you can move on to the 4x4. It's a pretty interesting challenge because there are 4 layers instead of 3, which is quite a bigger challenge. So if you think you've mastered 3x3 and want something else to try, get this. This is called the Qiyi 4x4, which is good. So yeah, this 4x4 does turn really nicely, pretty smoothly, and yeah, that's all I can say about it. So these cubes are called M by M because it's like a 2x2, a 3x3, a 4x4, and of course there is 5x5, 6 and 7, but they don't come with this set. The remaining cubes though are ones that maybe you've never seen before because they look a little bit weird. Firstly, we have a puzzle in the shape of a tetrahedron, which is a 4-sided pyramid with triangles. A triangle-based pyramid. This is called the Pyraminx, because it should be named that. It's just called the Qiyi Pyraminx. And it's really fun to do that if you can do it. And it's also really fun to do this. Anyway, the Pyraminx is actually a pretty easy puzzle to solve. So actually, I would probably recommend this over the 2x2 if you want a puzzle to solve, because actually there's another one I've got. Like, this is it's a pretty fun puzzle as well, and it's in a really cool shape. Next up is a puzzle in the shape of a dodecahedron. This is actually called the Megaminx, which is a 12-sided pentagonal puzzle. Now this is a really cool puzzle, and it's the closest shape to a ball, I would say. And this is also really fun to solve, and a nice step up from the 3x3 because it functions almost like one. It's actually not that hard to solve. You might need to learn a few algorithms, but give it a shot because, let's be real, on every puzzle you have to learn algorithms. Next up is a cube that, actually, can you guess how this cube turns? Okay, if you haven't guessed, Well, it actually doesn't turn like this. How it actually turns is like this. It actually turns on the corners, which is really interesting. It turns like this, which is really weird. But believe it or not, it's actually easier to solve this than even the 2x2. This is called the Skewb, and if you notice, all of these names start with Qiyi, because I don't know. This is called the Qiyi Skewb, and the only thing I would say that's not good about this is this. Those caps can pop off really easily, but if you get used to that, you can. It's not too bad. And that's only really a problem if you speed solve this a lot. A really fun move to do is called the sledgehammer, which goes something like this. And I'm not going to explain it here because I'm not actually an expert on this puzzle, but there are tutorials on YouTube, so you should look at them. So all these 6 puzzles are what's called the WCA, which stands for World Cube Association. Basically, it's the association where you can compete in different types of events. These are 6 of the events. There are obviously more, but they don't come in this set. However, the next 2 are puzzles that are officially not recognized by the WCA. So this is an IV cube. Can you guess how this one turns? It turns just like a Skewb, but maybe a little more predictably, like this. So this is an IV cube, and actually, I would say this is actually the puzzle you should learn before any of these, because this is actually a really easy puzzle to solve, and I'm sure you can figure it out on your own, because it's just a really nice puzzle, and even a really nice puzzle to look at, because it's got all of these like maple leaf centers in the middle, which is pretty cool. And in case you want to know, it actually solves pretty similar to a Pyraminx, so that might help you. And last is the Qiyi mirror cube. Now the mirror cube might look like pretty boring because it's all the same color, and like where's the fun and all that? Well, you might notice that the lines, yeah, you can see myself in the camera, you might realize that all the lines are like not proportional. And this is where the challenge comes in. This is a mirror cube. And basically what happens is when you turn aside, it gets offset so you can still turn it. And then you can just scramble it up, and as you can imagine, if you scramble it up enough, you will get something that looks pretty bumpy. So how would you solve this? Well, it's solved basically like a 3x3, but it just, you have to, instead of using the colors, you have to use like the thickness or the height of each piece as what you're meant to solve. This is a pretty interesting challenge because, yeah, it's a really interesting challenge. And you can even solve it blindfolded like I do in this video, but that includes some pretty advanced techniques, so I wouldn't watch it if you're a beginner. And those are all that. No, hang on, there's something else. This is a secret tutorial that comes with everything. What's in here? Basically, there's a brand introduction, so there's Qiyi Cube, Mofanye, X-Man Design, which is like a sub-brand, they're also really good, and the Volk, because named after famous 3x3 solver Matt's Volk. So in case you don't know how to solve any of these, there are pretty much every single cube in here, and actually a few others. So yeah, here's the 3x3 tutorial, and it teaches you about notation, which I'm not going to cover in this video, but yeah. And there's this really advanced method called CFOP, which is how you can learn to speed solve the cube, which is pretty interesting. Bunch of algorithms, 2x2, tutorial, 4x4. There's even a 5x5, but yeah, basically every single cube tutorial you could want in this very book. So that's my review on the Qiyi cube set. This is pretty cheap for all of these cubes. I know I call them cubes while some of them aren't, but that's what we say in the cubing community. So yeah, this cost about $60, well, Australian dollars I should say. That's about, I believe, 40 US. And if you have any others, you're just gonna have to calculate yourself. But I did buy this off Amazon, which you probably know it. It's a online store, I guess. But you should actually buy from a legitimate cubing store. So I've got a few recommendations. So if you're in the US, I believe there's the Cubicle and Speedcube shop. If you're in Australia like me, probably go Daily Puzzles or speedcube.com.au, that's my choice. And I believe if you're in the UK, there's this place called Cubes UK, so you can go there and get this. And see you next time.